Okay, having already set up your version of Brightcel, so you've got a new file open in the name of Peter Franks, you may remember from the first tutorial. If we want to go and do more to it, this is what we do next. So back in, you may remember, we've saved ours in our C drive and the Brightcel folder. Here it is, the one that we've used before. I'm actually going to rename it. So I right click. This is all just this is Explorer stuff. So we right click. I'm going to go to rename. This just means I'm going to not get it confused with other ones that are on the go. So it's just giving it its own name. So I'm going to call it Brightcel Peter Franks. That's the name of our deceased. And now I'm going to open it. So I just double click on that. Up comes Excel as before. And we need to enable editing, and we need to enable content. Let's get rid of that by clicking on there. We've got the same change date or preserve date. Now you'll see this time we've actually got the date of the accounts in there. Before we had no date there because we hadn't got a date. So now we've got 16th of May. I'm actually doing this recording this the same day as I recorded the last one. So today is the 16th of May. So it's saying, do I want to change it to, that will be today's date as it appears in there. I could change that to whatever date I wanted, but chances are you're not going to want to change it to an earlier date. So let's just click preserve date. We've got another links window. This is just telling us the status is unknown. If we can try any of these, check status, or we update values, there we are, that's connected up and we've got the values updated. So let's go, it's giving us an OK message, so let's click close. So remember, here we are, the landing page with the superficial instructions, if you like, or the short instructions. Hopefully they're comprehensive, but if you need more and you need more of these demos, you can go to the website brightcel.co.uk. So let's right click. Remember, this is how we get up that shortcut menu. It's a right click of the mouse, right click, there it is, click on Brightcel Home. That's where most of the action happens. This is where we lead off from. So up comes the main Brightcel menu, and remember we've got a pre-grant section, an administration period, so essentially from grant onwards up until the end, and then distribution as the sort of main screens. Now of course those three can overlap in time, but we generally start top left, record key data. We've got Peter Franks, date of death 12th of February. You remember that it can be changed, but once only, and to do that you click on the change button there. Date of accounts, as we've said, is 6th of May. Next thing that's happened, because we're connected to Brightcel, to the tax tables, you can see that we've got the nil rate band for the year in question. And if we wanted to have, if Peter Franks had been predeceased by his wife, and she had used, she made a few legacies to children perhaps, but she'd left 80% of her nil rate band unused, we can put 80% in there. And you can see that we've now got a total nil rate band of 485,000. We've got a tax rate of 40%. If we wanted the reduced rate, that's telling us it's 36%. That's when a certain percentage of the estate goes to charity. Those rates, should they ever change, they haven't changed for as long as I've been in practice, but if they do change, then those rates would be will be picked up from the tax tables. You've also got, you'll see that Brightcel has already worked out the due date for the IHT account, a deadline for the deed of variation, and they're all by reference to the date of death, of course. And then you've got some gaps here which we can fill in. Look, you've also got the end of the tax year in which the date of death occurs. So let's put in some executors. I'm going to put in Ernest Blofeld and Auric Goldfinger. We've got some residuary beneficiaries, Pussy Galore, idea on a top. That'll do for now. And we'll also have a charity. Let's have the benevolent spies, or the spies benevolent widows benevolent fund. And here we put in the percentage that each of them is to receive. So let's say that Pussy Galore is getting 50%, and each of on a top and getting 25. That's sorry, 50. That should say. There we are. Gets rid of all the rude messages. Now, if we wanted, let's say we've got a charity exemption here. So exempt charity, there it is. And now you can see we get 25%, 75% charity, and 75% chargeable. So we've got partially exempt residue, first alarm bell. We're going to have grossing up if there are any legacies, and also we've got to work out how the split is done. You'll be pleased to see here you've got the choice between Ratcliffe or Benham, and we'll leave it at Ratcliffe for now, but know that if you need a Benham distribution, which is more unusual because of course that's not the statutory one, Ratcliffe is the statutory one, but if you want the Benham, i.e. the division after deduction of tax, then you can do that too. You've got further down here, I'm just going to scroll down using the scroll bar on the right. You've got a place to put your third party payers, and so you might have somebody who was paying the funeral account. I don't know who that might be. Let's just say it's Fred Blogs, somebody who's just helping tide things over, pay expenses and things until there's money available. I'll just put that there as an example. You've then got your name of your firm. No prizes for guessing where I work. And that then is the sort of essential data. What you can do up here, there's a place to put the synopsis. You can put, that's just a description of the will date, codicil dates, grant date. None of those have any impact on the accounts, but they're there so that they carry forward and will appear in the synopsis on the front page of your accounts. So that is putting in some key data. What I'm next going to show you is that we've got one or two options here which is probably worth talking about. Compile lists. What Brightcel is doing, you'll remember that there are certain places where there's an orange drop-down option, and where you're putting in data, so for example things like the names of the executors or third-party payers or the names of the residuary beneficiaries, Brightcel in time will compile all of those lists, and then that will all work. But if you're finding that you're getting an imbalance, it probably means that those lists haven't been compiled, so you can always just click on that and then it will compile everything. Otherwise, let's just go straight back to the Brightcel homepage, and I'm going to leave it there for now, and you'll be able to look at what comes next with the next tutorial. Thank you very much.